All right.
And we're going to record on the, so that we can see everybody. So that's good.
Okay. And he says, leaving meeting. Got it. Got it. Okay. So then, fantastic. We start. Let me see. What I'm going to do in a few seconds, I'm going to bring you back into the Zoom because I would like to show you a couple of graphics before we start. And what else? In the meantime, if we don't have any questions, we just continue directly then, right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. Let me see. Wonderful. No questions about the thing that has been written? Yeah, no
Wonderful.
questions about it. Okay. So how will I go to now to?
So you're going to go down to the green button that says share screen.
Share screen, fantastic.
And then you're going to hit share again.
Oh, fantastic, twice. And then participants can now.
So you have to get us to the blog there.
And what should I get to the blog? Should I get out of here?
So you need to know. So you need to go up to, remember at the very top.
Oh yeah,
there's
the second one.
Yeah,
the second one. Oh my
yeah.
God, I forgot to turn the phone off.
Oh.
But I'm not going to do it now. The other day, I turned the TV off, and then 4 days after, I recognized nobody's calling. No, the telephone.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I loved it. And now today I forgot. I'm sorry. I apologize. That's my message. Zoom meetings. It's all very funny. They're trying to sell me everything. I get 3 or 4 calls every day that I want $5 million. Then I just call them immediately because they need to know something about it. And they're waiting for me still.
Of course.
So anyway, celebrating the practice of unity in motion. Here we are, fantastic. And then we're going down. With all the, I can't wait until eventually we'll get to those videos because I'm sure that it will be good. But anyway, today I was looking for all the things that has been written already here. And I think that I'm going to start downloading those informations into a form of a book because they will be serviceable. You know, all this information here is very good.
Yeah,
adds to everything. Yeah. So we don't have. Eventually, we don't have to repeat anything. It's all information is complete. So here we go. Well, okay. Oh, interesting. It shows the other way around. How wonderful. It reverses itself. How lovely. So anyway, I just wanted to show you a little bit about it. I don't know if it was last Tuesday, the Tuesday we were together, that I was telling you that wherever the way that you place yourself in a space determine your experience or how you feel. Mm-hmm. This is a physical phenomenon. Mm-hmm. Very few of us really understand that that's the case because we never think about it. We are what we are, we do what we do, and that's what's happening. But once we understand that the field of gravity is actually ever present and expansion, which is the second aspect of it, this field of gravity, expansion, and the moment itself is actually the nature of 3 dimensions. And that we were created in the nature of 3 dimensions. We can use 3 dimensions to be able to discover how we feel. And in unity in motion, once we begin to encounter the sphere and encounter the center of a space, we begin to unify the directions of ourselves, we get to feel that we feel great because the function of gravity is to really actually expand us. It's not to contract us. Remember the gravity, expansion, and the moment itself, which is the 3rd sphere, are the nature of existence. It's not something that is happening or not happening. It's the constant. And the constant of life is the release itself. But if we don't know, sometimes we don't know that once we use the constant, we will be constantly released because we know how to use the sphere, which is the unity of the 3 spheres into one, the sphere of life, to understand the center of a space, which is the same as saying the center of gravity and the center moment. Yeah, because I was about to say every moment, gravity, space, and the center moment. And by that time, we lost 100 frames that passed through. Yeah. So the reason that we go through this is to allow the mind to comprehend something so the mind can become simultaneous and then we relate in simultaneity to the principle itself, and then the mind understands, and it doesn't have to say gravity, expansion, and center movement of life. But we'll repeat it for now constantly for you to understand that those three forces is the physical phenomenon that we call three dimensions. The life in the planet Earth, the solar system, that's the way the things are. So once we learn how to use the center of space, which comes as a consequence from being the center of gravity, the center of space, and the center moment, as one, then we are fine. That's it, all you have to do. So you do understand that when we use the word the center of space, what we really mean from now on is the center of gravity, the center of space, and the center moment of life. Yeah, we wanted to synchronize it as much as possible into one thing, so we don't have to say always, you know. So the center of my body is really actually the center of space. They are the 7 centers that we know what they are: the pelvic floor, the pelvis that connects the legs, the solar plexus, which in here is maybe a little bit low. It's low. It will be like right here. Yeah. Can you tell when you look at it that it's a little bit low, that it's right here? It's good because sometimes I don't do things, I'm doing them, and then I said, oh, you know, but I'll do it again. I said, no, forget it. But it's good for me to show you that you will begin to see that the center of the solar plexus will be right here, and then the center of the chest actually will be right here. But we're talking about the center of the heart, the center of the throat, which is the balance between the head and the shoulders right here, and that's the crown. Yeah. And then crown, when we finish on crown, every time that we practice unity in motion and we go crown, what we really mean is the point in a space in which your arms arrive that naturally corresponds to the balanced polarity that manifests crown. Mm-hmm. So once we begin to understand that it's the placement that manifests the feeling and the connection, you do pay attention to the placement, but then you don't get hung up so much on the placement. The placement, it is extraordinary importance because it's the biomechanical nature, the physical reality. But your connection to space and to the moment is what makes physical reality to be truly, truly real in the experience of yourself. So physical reality in this particular moment is centralized in a space. So it's expressing a balance of tensional forces, balance that correspond to the natural extension of your being, naturally. And here you can tell there is a little tiny bit of effort in it. Yeah, just a little bit of effort, just to show it. It's because the head is a little bit too extended. Yeah. 2 millimeters up. Yeah. So but that's good to understand that, because then if you understand it, you can see it. And the student has said, you know, you're perfect, but you're lifting the head. So if you're lifting the head right here, what happens is you press in with the head up on the atlas and you're lifting it. And the center of gravity doesn't have any pressure. It's just a natural release of encountering the center of space and the center of gravity and the center of moment, whatever. The center right there. So if for any particular reason that area is not clear, or any of the areas is not clear, through the practice and discovering the points in space that we are connecting, and the flow and the movements and so forth, all the things that you know as information when you practice, everything will come together into the field. And once you are coming together within the field, you're always naturally, through the natural reality of the mind, you would always be in the center of a space. And then if you are uncomfortable, it's because either for a particular reason, something happens in your feeling or in your physical self that you are not innocently connecting to it. So once you connect to it, then whatever sensation of discomfort will disappear, because the function of gravity, which is the sphere that embraces you, is actually love. And the unity, gravity is love. In expansion, love, gravity is life. And in the now, gravity is the physical reality in which we are living. So those three spheres, I said it again, the sphere of gravity that embraces you and creates the center, the famous apple of you know, the center of gravity, the plumb line, yes, the famous apple that the plumb line is actually the field of gravity. The field of gravity, if it's not understood, may be interpreted as being a compressional force that eventually will kill you. Because what happens is that it begins to create weight upon you with time, and then eventually, you know, we just start creating pain and so forth. But in the reality itself, gravity is in their unity, since they are inseparable. Gravity is love. Expansion, which is equal with gravity, is life. And the center moment is the reality of your physical experience. So the three are the nature of physical reality as it is united with the reality of all things. Yeah. So are we good with this? Any questions? Yeah.
No, I was thinking about it today, Christy, and I've had this thought before, and I was thinking about, you know, different ideas that people have about what center is, what the, you know, center is. And I think I was sensing that when you're sort of being oppositional, that you're actually like in the past a bit.
In the what?
In the past, living in the past.
Yeah,
innocent, I don't know. Right? I don't know. And then
any opposition come in the past because it has come in a story that you have to really protect yourself. Yeah, innocent. It's all innocent. And then when you have to protect yourself, you're always contracted innocently because the actual thought of protection is a physiological sensation inside of you that disconnects you from the fluidity that is the moment itself and from the magic itself. Because whenever we are protecting ourselves, we are innocently projecting that something is going to happen, and that what is happening is a direct consequence of the protection, because everything is a mirror. So when we understand that, we release it. Okay? Yeah. Beautiful. So then are we clear that the three spheres of three dimensions, one is love, one is space, which is actually life, yeah, the sphere of life, three-dimensional space, and then the other one is the center. So we know that for sure now. We freeze that experience, that information is frozen. That's it.
That's great.
Yeah, wonderful. So then I just want to tell you a bit about the centering of the head. The centering of the head is just only the head here, but it's good because we understand that this is the right and the left, you know, the right and the left of the head. This is the vertical extension. This is that will be the chest, and that will be the throat. Yeah. So it's a good thing to understand that when we're thinking about centering, we're talking about a relationship of tensional forces that suspend us in a space. A relationship of tensional forces, invisible tensional forces. And they say they are invisible because it's the whole field as it is united with the external field, which is the union of all things. Yeah. When we're thinking, when I said to you, I wanted to be briefly because we can go for a long time. When I said to you that the three dimensions, gravity, life force, which is expansion, and then the life are one and the same, is the centering of ourselves is a physical phenomenon that correspond to the center of the planet, they correspond to the center of the sun. So we are living in a field of centering, in which all celestial bodies in the particular system that we call our solar system are all related in an axis rotating around each other's axis and manifested this beautiful dance that never stops for a moment, and together manifest the great field from which what we call three dimension, from which we are experiencing life. So we're moving in a field of three dimension that is not just only related to the three-dimensional analogy that I give you to the physical body, but a three-dimensional analogy that corresponds to the relationship to all things. So the centering of my being inside of 3 dimensions is actually my natural correspondence as reality with the balance of the planet Earth, with the moon, the sun. I am inside of the whole system always, even if I'm not aware or not. But if I'm aware, it's fantastic, because then what happens is that all those forces can really be part of my consciousness, instead of just me innocently living in a little world that I do not know that I belong to everything. Yeah, belonging to everything is fantastic, because that's the way I can keep my health. If I'm totally connected to the biorhythm of the solar system, I'm always fine, because everything is fluid, everything is changing, everything is great. It's only when I get inside of my own inner world that everything becomes complex, because innocently I am disconnected from the greater field that is life itself, which is the moment of movement of life. Yeah, fantastic. So I wanted to tell you that when we have those spheres, and here you see that sphere, and then it will be another sphere of the chest here. And if we continue without this sphere, it will be the 3 spheres that we're talking about constantly: space, feeling, without this one, the feeling, and then form. Yeah, the 3 spheres, the reason they are this particular form is because they are self-contained, the entire formation of the body. So if we follow like this, that will be the lateral plane and so forth. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you that these directions of space are very important. And now what I would like to tell you from here is that the directions of space, and we need to clarify them when we are in defining in the connections of 3 dimensions. One of the connections of 3 dimensions is actually expansion. Yeah, I'm sorry that we're missing that little piece here, but it's okay. Yeah. Now, and here, this is the back, this is the front, this is the right, and this is the left. And then at the center of the crown, since it's here from above, here in the crown, if you were to look down from the center down, you will see the centers, the 7 centers, and you will see the ground. And then you pass to the ground, you will see the center of the planet Earth. Yeah, so the 6 directions are here, only that you see 4, but this will be the 5th. And if you go down into the line, into the 5th, all the way down, you will be then at the center of the floor and at the center of all the centers. So, and here, if I go down and I will go 3 centers down, I will be in the center of the chest. Yeah, are you with me a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then, what I wanted to let you know that for these planes of space, which are the 6 direction of space of the sphere of life, the 6 direction, right? Back and front, right and left, above and below, the 6. If you define it as that, back and forth and right and left, in order to exist inside of my body through the physical formation of my being, I go to expansion, and the placement of expansion is very different than if I were to think that I have to go right and if I got to go left, right? If I just think that I'm going to put my arm here and there, my spine will be totally contracted on the other side, and I will be flat as a pancake. So the actual volume and existence of my body demands that expansion it goes to a specific lane in a space, right here, the extension of expansion, that the very nature of the placement of a space, the right and the left, the front and the back, and the above and the below of a space come into being. Not the right and the left and the front and the back of not only myself, but also of the space as well, of the sphere of life. Yeah, so a space has its own existence inside of the sphere of life. It's divided, for us to understand it, into 6 directions: right and left, front and back, and above and below. Or, as we said before, that the sphere is considered to be the most beautiful of all forms. Remember, because if you go from the center to any particular direction and you go all the way around to the entire periphery, you will always be equal. So it is the only the design that is equal from his center outward, imply all directions of space. Yeah. So all directions of space is an extraordinary thing for us, because it's not that the mind said, okay, all directions of space. The mind can say that forever, all directions of space, but it doesn't mean anything, because they create a symbol that is not really, not necessarily connect with the all directions of space is. It's a symbol that the mind creates, but it's not necessarily connected. But once you begin to comprehend that when you use the symbol, all directions of space, you're relating equally to all directions, but also through the 6 directions, which is the minimal that we have as an understanding of the sphere, then the sphere becomes real for the first time. And then we have a formation that allows us to feel how we feel in relation to that formation, which is the sphere of life. Yeah. So then, when I went, let me see. Do you need more information about this? You can hear it, and then you can decide it when you hear it in the video if you have questions, because this is very important. The sphere of 3 dimensions is ever present. The sphere of 3 dimensions, the way that we humans understand it, is through the 6 directions of space. Yeah. And then also another way that we understand it as human is through the anatomical planes. Yeah, the right and the left, the median plane, the midline, the front and the back, which is the coronal plane, and the reciprocals. And so you have all that. All those are linear expressions for the mind to be able to start comprehending how your mind descends or permeates your body, and you begin to understand how through your body you get to feel life, because we feel life through the body. What we call feeling is the experience that we have through the body and through the senses to the environment that surrounds us all the time. Yeah, it doesn't exist without without our connection to everything. So yeah, wonderful. Any particular questions? So
I have one question.
Absolutely.
From the slide before. I just if you go back to brain, the heads.
Yeah.
Okay. So I may not be correct in this, but the right and left of the head, is that at the top of the spine at the atlas?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. The top of the spine at the atlas. Yeah. Okay, it's just right here. The top of the spine at the atlas will be right here. Yeah. Yeah. And then the right of the head has its own motion. It has a front and back, right and left, and above and below. That's what centering means. It's centralized in motion. It's not like stiff in it. Now, what happens is that if we innocently, some part of the balance is not, for a particular reason, is not clear in us, then the head tilts itself to one direction, that correspond to a specific vertebra, in a specific pattern of the curve, in a specific sensation within the knees. All the joints are adjusting to that particular formation in which the head is centralized on top of the atlas. Yeah, the relationship of centering is the simultaneous experience of the moment of life in our humanity. The relationship of centering of our physical body is the simultaneous experience of how each of us experience life, period. It's a simultaneous event, because that's the nature of life, that everything changes and everything moves and everything goes. So when we begin to understand centering, we're beginning to understand the relationship of centering and the union of the field. And as we enter the movement of the field, the union of the field, then centering becomes a communion with all things, because every single thing in nature is centered in relation to everything. We are the only ones in relation, humans, that have our own interpretation of that. Everything else is just follow its nature. We are the only ones that do that. And the reason that we are the only ones, because in nature, we are the only ones that can comprehend not only our human experience, but also our cosmic experience of being alive in a celestial existence called the universe. We are the only ones. Everybody else is following their nature. We were created to be able to understand all those aspects of ourselves, so we could live in the present moment that is not just only in the chicken coop, but is also everywhere in the celestial existence. and we can really repair the chicken coop in the most beautiful way. Every chicken is going to have the rect, and every rented. I'm kidding you. I'm fine. But you know what I'm saying, that we are all realigning everything, because if we're going to live in the planet Earth, we got to reinstate it to the natural perfection, which is actually the garden itself, but now it will return to be the garden because it's our home. We want the home to reflect the physiological nature of our perfection. So anyway, Ellen, are we good with this?
Yeah, great. Thank you so much.
I'm going to continue with it just immediately because I'm going to get out of here. I don't want to spend too much time. As you know me, I just continue. I can, I'm sorry. I can.
So if you want to stop the share, you can go up to the top and, oh, you're going to.
Yeah, I did it. I got it. So I'm just few more graphics that I wanted to show you to you what I mean by that. Okay. So what I wanted to tell you that when you practice the movements of unity and motion, it is advisable that you now use your practice to be able to understand where are you placing yourself in a space more than how you feel about how you're placing yourself in a space.
Right.
Yeah, because if you follow only how you're placing yourself in a space, you're always going to reproduce the same pattern that you are, because you are going to move and perceive yourself from where you're at. And then it's difficult because maybe it will take you a long time to undo the pattern, even though not so long, because we will guide you and everything, but because you will have to undo the pattern innocently or consciously in order for the pattern to become released and unwind into its nature. But if you begin to say, okay, if I begin to understand where I'm moving in a space, eventually you understand that you practice the form eventually only from a space. You don't have to practice from the physical body very much. Because once you touch the point in a space, your physical body will be working 100%. Because once you touch the points that correspond to the dimensions in a space, all the muscles of the body will be engaged. But the difference is that you will not feel it as a contraction. You will just feel it as the pleasure of being connected to yourself. It's a different sensation. It is totally physical, but it's a different interpretation of what physical means, because you will not feel it like pressure or anything. You will not feel it as the union of the field itself and the fountain itself. And then when you enter that field, it's going to be completely different. And I know you have experienced it many times, maybe in continuous or certain moments, but once you enter that experience, you live in the reality of consciousness and the reality of the present moment. And then you're free from all the other innocent misperceptions that may occur inside of the realm of cause and effect, and that is innocently confused by not being in the total field. Yeah. Okay. So are we good with that? Yeah. That's what's going to happen when you learn to. So, for example, in ground, in expansion, you're going to discover, okay, if this will be 180 degrees, it's a lot to ask you, but this will be 180 degrees of space. And what distance is between my hands and the 180 degrees here of a space, more or less, you know what I mean? So you begin to say, okay, I'm getting to approximate the path and the connection and the movement that correspond to the continuity of the center between above and below, which will be the constant changing of the center of gravity. Above and below, right here, it will be the constant changing of the center of gravity within you, going into the inner arc, going into the vertical extension, or going to the outer arc, which will be heaven, infinity, and central crown. Yeah, you have all those planes, and all those planes, it will change your relationship to space, but you will always be in the center of a space. Yeah, so now you're just going to be frozen into one place. Is that according to the planes in which you're moving, the relationship of the skeleton will put you into the center of a space always, and therefore you're always changing the center of gravity from the high plane. It's not the word high plane, from the free above to the center below, and the free above is called the outer arc. on the outer planes, and the vertical extension, is the horizontal plane, and then the inner arc are the places in which you are defining earth, mandala crown, and foundation. Yeah. So what that means is that all these connections of movement within your being is always related to the natural movement of yourself, and the inner arc is the last moment before you start collapsing down. That's what you're going to know. And then if you go to deity, which is in the practice, is the maximum folding that we have. Again, it's a folding. It never gets contracted into the angle of itself. Because it gets contracted into the angle of itself, what happens is innocently, then the angle break the field. And then the free aspects of the field, gravity, expansion, and the center movement get disturbed. And then when it gets disturbed, gravity predominates. And when gravity predominates, space doesn't exist anymore. It becomes compact. And when gravity and space become compact, the moment stop. And here we are. This is the moment. This is the moment. I don't know that the moment is the continuity of life. The moment becomes paying attention to something, and here I am, and I holding my space, and everything is the way it's gonna be, and blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? So we become innocently rigid, not necessarily in the physiological sometimes, but in the mind. This is the way things are, and that's it. So everything becomes like very stationary. Beautiful. Okay, are we good then with this a little bit? That you discover where are you placing yourself in the space, and all the clues that we're going to give you in the connections. Yeah. So, for example, well, I won't tell you now. I will tell you on the practice then as we going along. So this is the suspended diamond. Suspended diamond, and then the center of suspended diamond will be 3 centers below. Right here from the center, it will become the head and the throat. That will be the crown. Below the crown here will be the head. Yeah, and then below the crown will be the throat, and this will be the chest, which is the 4th one. Yeah, the head, the chest will be the 4th one that allows you to experience the length of your throat. Yeah, it's good. This is good. It sounds like a little bit like I'm playing a game with you, but if you begin to understand what you see and what I'm telling you, your mind begins to see differently, that it's just a flat thing. You begin, oh, I see. This is what you're telling me that you see. And when you practice unity in motion, or when you see somebody practice movement, it's very important to be able to see it in all angles, because then you can tell somebody, not only if they're in the path, but you can tell them what's happening in this body when that is occurring. You can tell them you are creating pressure in certain places, and you gently, you said, because people said I'm doing something wrong and they go crazy, but you tell them, no, you're creating a little bit of pressure here, the shoulders are not yet connected, and such a thing. And you can begin to guide them to be able to recreate the matrix or the field, so they can begin to really become more and more present within themselves. Yeah, and then it's wonderful. So anyway, this will be here, will be the center, in the actual connection here, this will be the center of the heart, right? And above the heart will be the throat, which is the space that we are talking about when we open the throat. Yeah, above the heart will be the throat. Yeah, and I want you to feel the displacement, which is called the diamond. It allows us to experience a centralization in the shoulder joint, and the centralization of the shoulder joint allow us to really pass through the center of the chest and connect not only in the crown, as it is here, but in the center of your heart. So at the center of your heart, through the joint, the right and the left, and the front and the back of a space are coming to being. And the experience of those 6 directions of a space coming into being from your physiological placement, it gives you the pleasure of experiencing the sensation of yourself as balance. Yeah. So then I said it one more time and then I'll let it go. Yeah. That the right and this placement, like all of the placements of unity in motion, are always expressing the centralization of the 6 planes of a space. So you're always centralized in the center of a space. And the centralization of a space then it gives you the actual flow of energy that you are experiencing as the pleasure of being suspended by balance. So you're not suspending by balance, by physically, I said, okay, I'm going to measure the scale and going to find the center. You could do it that way too. But the actual experience doesn't have a measurement of the weight of your physical body. It has the balance is the measurement of your suspension and relationship to three-dimensional space. It's a completely different reality. The balance of your being is not subject not only to the balance of the weight, which is okay, you know, because it will be just balance, but it is subject to the spatial relationship of the 6 directions of a space that then suspends the physical body. So balance becomes the experience of connection to yourself instead of just stopping the moment into some particular moment of equilibrium in relation to weight. Yeah, so it's a different thing. Also, what I wanted to tell you that in the crisscross here of the suspended wave, yeah, the suspended wave, no, the suspended diamond, yeah, and the crisscross of the suspended diamond, the crisscross right here, you see that one goes this way and that one goes this way. At the point of crisscross in a space, you have the balance of the center of a space and the balance of the back, which is the same as the back, the balance of right and left, the balance, all those points in a space are balanced in this particular moment. Yeah. So then when I'm telling you that the form of the movement is the coronal plane, what we call the coronal plane, the form and shape that you touch in a space, always connected to the 3 dimensions of a space, those points in a space and the path and the angle are the continual expression of the unification of the 6 directions of a space. And in the unification of the 6 directions of a space, you have the communion with the sphere of life. Yeah, it's important to understand it because otherwise our religious idea and the spiritual idea that we have, which is beautiful, you say, oh, the sphere of life, or the sphere of life. No, don't transform it into an image. Understand that the sphere of life is nothing other than the natural physiological relationship, physiological structural, that correspond to the 6 directions of a space that define the sphere. So it's the other way around. We can say from the sphere to the 6 directions of the space to the physical body, or we can say from the physical body to the 6 directions of a space to the definition of the sphere. Yes, if you're understanding what weight is fantastic, but ultimately, if you can get to your placement in a space, it will erase from your study years of study. You can learn the unity in motion in 2 weeks if you understand that it's relative to the space and not relative to how you feel. Because if you do it how you feel, it will take you a long time because you will have to follow all the different sensations, the feeling, the emotion, the psychology, the story, your mother, your father, the world, what is given, where I was born, where I'm coming from. Wow, an enormous field that you may go enter the labyrinth of consciousness. But if you enter a space and you discover from a space, everything will go like a poof. And then you will be more connected to the magic right away than trying to figure it out, all those different stories that they are part of our memory within the genetical code. And that's a wonderful thing to get rid of all that quickly, yeah, because the other one can be forever. And then the interpretation keep residual and then shows up in some place or another if the body doesn't become free from it. So if we free the body from it from the beginning, all the stories disappear. And then you only got left with the future, which is the present moment, and that everything is divine because in the present moment, everything is created for you. Yeah, fantastic. We are it, we are divine. This is the connection of central heart. This is the last connection, I think so. And then I stop because my God, the time is gone. But anyway, we're good right here. Look how beautiful central heart is, right? Central heart is, this is the crown and below is the center of the head and below is the throat and below is the chest. And this is the 5th center from above, which will be the solar plexus. Yeah, right here. Yeah, beautiful. And again, the formation that you create, the center of the heart right here. Yeah, it will be the center of the space. Yeah, right here. And the 10 fingers of your hands connecting, it will be all these planes defining through the center of your body, the right and the left, the front and the back, and then above and below directions of space. You can also say when you are in central heart, remember that you said, okay, you have 4 counts to take all the time in the world that you needed to say, okay, right and left, front and back. Of course, right and left is experienced through the elbows, yeah, and central heart, and from the fingers. It's not experienced by seeing right and left, right? Because if I go right and left, I'll have nothing, you know what I mean? The heart doesn't exist. And then the spine, I go behind the spine, then by the definition of force. And if I go behind the spine, I cannot elongate it anymore. I'm always stuck in the pancake reality of all the vertebrae. So the only possibility of opening the vertebrae is to find the planes that correspond to the particular release of the 3-dimensionality of the vertebra, which are in the movements itself, from which the vertebra then releases into the brain, and then the brain shows up in the center of a space, because your brain, the formation of your brain right here is the sphere of space. It's the spherical nature of a space completely. These are all the different aspects of your brain. Yeah, so then the 10 fingers are connected, express the whole thing, the right and the left, the front and the back are always existing. Here, then we have the crown, and the other side, we have the center of the ground, which is the below, yeah? And then if we continue going down from the center of the ground, you will be in the center of the planet Earth, right? And then if you continue going, passing through, you couldn't go down anymore, because then in that moment, you're connected to the sun, the moons, and all of them instantaneously. When you start getting to the center of the solar system, the celestial bodies, you are inside of all the celestial bodies, right? And then you also are inside of the celestial body. Inside of here, I'm a celestial body because I share in the same thing. Yeah, so it's good to understand it, because then the mind momentarily freaks out, because I said, wow, the celestial body, the planet, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, the brain in which I was created as human is the entire formation of the solar system in which I am living. The brain that I was created as a human, as a design, is the entire formation of the solar system in which I'm living. And the solar system in which I'm living, and the formation of my mind, is the entire formation of all the aspects of the universe that they are existing in simultaneity as the moment of life. Quantum entanglement, remember? All right now, here, all together. Remember the perfect movie? There is a movie right now that it says, everything, everywhere, all at once. Yeah, there is a movie, right? Do you know that there is a movie now that is created? It's called Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Yeah. So that is the definition of the moment, of the eternal. I don't know in the movie if it's about that, but when I heard it, I said, oh, fantastic, you know, the consciousness is showing up perfectly. It's telling us everything, everywhere, all at once. That is the definition of the eternal moment. If you wanted to give it anybody the definition of eternal moment, so everything all together, all at once. Click. Meditate. Well, just contemplate that, and you are here. You know, you don't have to study. Maybe you didn't motion anymore. You don't have to do anything. Just that would be the end. Period. Okay. So we got it all together. Perfection. Yeah. But I want you to know that the center of the joints, always the center of the joint, the center of the elbows and the joint, are what determine that you're always moving from the center of the heart. Yeah. And if you're moving from the center of the heart, always, even when you are in foundation, when crown, on earth, on expansion, on sun, or moving heart, on suspended diamond, of heaven, infinity, all the connections are always through in the center of your heart. And if you are in the center of the heart through the joints and the motion, you are always in perfect balance in relation to right and left, which is, and then in perfect balance to the ground and crown, which are the 6 directions. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Okay, we are good. Can we let it go? Wonderful, fantastic. Now I'm returning to leaving the space.
You're going to go up to stop the share, stop share.
Stop the share, okay.
Stop
the share,
yeah.
Fantastic, wonderful. Wonderful. You have this. I want you to listen to this a little bit when you what time, and then listen to that and say, oh, I don't understand it or whatever. Just let it be. Ask me questions because it's a contemplation of your consciousness. Yeah, be free. All right, fantastic. We are here together. So now we're going to go. Let me see. What are we going to do today? Anything that you want to practice specifically? We're going to start with the fountain, or start. Let's start with the fountain. Let's do it one time in the fountain. Let's start with the fountain seated, and then we can do it standing today because not everybody can move in this class, no? Shall we do it the fountain standing then today, since everybody is pretty good, and then we'll continue with it. Okay, fantastic, beautiful. Beautiful. Lovely. Okay. I think you can see me from there. Yeah. Wonderful. Remember that we studied. We said that 0 point is your natural definition of being in the center of a space, the natural definition of the sphere of life, the natural definition of the centerings that you practice through the practice, and then the energy in your 5 fingers of your hands, the 10 fingers, are actually the moment in which the movement starts because you're already in the field. So we go 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm going to touch balance from here. We all can do it. So I'm going to go just very gently, and here we go. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. I'm going to go to the other mandala because you already know. 1, 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. I'm going to complete very gently and ground. That's softly. 1. Okay, just release the energy. Change the way for a moment. Let's do it again. The same thing. Are you okay? Can we do it again? Any questions about it? I think I can't see you very much because I'm in the small screen. Can I get into the larger screen momentarily? Okay, I go. Because I have to go to the large screen. So now I'm going to go what Ellen told me. I go here, view, right? And then full screen. And I'm going to refer so I can see you more where you are. Fantastic. Lovely. So we do it again. We're going to do 4 fountains. Yeah, right there. Wonderful. Right there. Wonderful. And then going right there. And then we're moving through it right there. And then wonderful. Wonderful. Fantastic. Beautiful. Let me see, Mary Pat, where are you in it in the fountain? Take your own tempo. Yeah. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7. Beautiful. 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7. Beautiful. We'll do it together and then we'll continue with wonderful. You're doing great. Doing great. Please be gentle that when you remember the horizon, you have horizon when you're here. So you're open through the horizontal plane. Don't open so high that you get into really big in those planes when you open the fountain. Remember that you are defining the front and the back constantly in balance and relation to right and left when you come down from the fountain. So it is more forward a little bit, Mary Pat, that you're thinking about that it's more right here, and in reality it's in the forward, it's in the frontward plane. It's not in this plane, it's in the forward plane that you're opening through. Yeah.
Okay, because
yeah. It's good.
All right.
Yeah, it's
Usually,
good. Eventually, I think
out more is because I've been having this like spot in my shoulder blade that will really sort of be stuck and click. And so I've been trying to go out a little further, and that has moved it.
No, absolutely, that's happened. But if you're trying to go more forward, you cannot allow the upper spine around the 8, 9, 10 thoracic vertebra to move into the direction that you're moving. So the only reason that you have to go a little bit forward and extending through it is to allow the spine to be able to make the changes in the gravitational field right there. Fantastic, 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 better. Yeah, it's less opening for you, right? And then, Mary Pat, it's important that you're thinking right now, what happens that when you come back from the field, when you open the field and you're extending, you thinking, let me see, you see it's a forward plane, it's not a side plane, it's a forward plane. And then there is a circular here that it brings you to the self. There's a full circular connection that it brings you to the self through the extension of the energy in you. It's not that the elbows bend and you're coming down, it's that you're extending the energy from the center of the heart to come back to be able to self, to go into the self, yes? Beautiful, Ellen, from that extension, yeah, right there, 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 wonderful, wonderful, much better, much better, much better, right there, much better, connected, much better, okay? Shall we do it together one more time, the fountain, and then we touch balance directly. And I know that in the practice, we go to the inner outer mandala. But now we can go for now. I made a mistake before. Let's go touching balance again and then go to the inner outer mandala to complete the movement in front. Yes, we'll do it together. So, beautiful. 0 point, wonderful. You can, yeah, if you need to even prepare for 0 point, just make sure that the way that you're going to feel it is going to feel it in this area of your arm. If you are not fully passing through the line, that line is going to give you a sensation here. So just make sure that that line becomes part of your sensation and that the shoulder joint is suspended through the heart and that sensation, so you're ready to start. So you're not so low here that then the shoulder is not engaging, you see? The connection of 0 point in your arm, the connection of 0 point in your arm is actually the half of your torso opening. It's already the half of your torso opening. It's not the arm opening. It's not the arm opening. It's the half of your torso, the other half of your torso, the connection to central crown, engage. Exactly. Right there, beautiful. Right there, beautiful. Right there, opening and extending. Yeah, because it's a part of you that almost want to start creating the diamond when you're descending. And it's not a diamond, it's the elongation of your arms that become a diamond only when you get to self. Exactly. If you're trying to become a diamond too soon, you're losing the heart. So that's the reason that it's important. That's good, Carolina. Let me see with the extension. Beautiful, beautiful, and beautiful, and beautiful. That's the point that is a little bit difficult to get to the self. Because there is a part of us that I wanted to think that the self isn't here. But the self really isn't here. It's not here. It's not It's not that I offer it, it's that I am it. You know, it's a different angle of the elbow in relation to the rib cage that they're going forward. Exactly, right there, exactly. You got it, Elaine, you got it. There is not an offering, the self. It's the connection that corresponds to the solar plexus from which the wave comes into being. Beautiful, that's it, Mary Pat. And then elongation from self, descending, really coming back through it. Fantastic, fantastic. And now coming back, Elena, we're going into the self right there. Beautiful, wonderful, wonderful. You're going to discover that in the beginning, you're going to try to make the self an offering. The self is not an offering. The self is the self. It doesn't offer anything. It is right here. So if you're offered, your innocently grows in the back of your spine. So the connection to the self is what allows the spine to elongate through all the planes in you. So it's a perfect place that is not forward, it is center, it's not backwards, it's not resting, it is the center of the entire spine. Exactly, Elena, that's it, Carolina, the center, and that's where you start descending, ascending. So shall we do it? Beautiful, fantastic. Let's do it. So the connection to the right and the left, connecting through the center of symmetry to the ground, right there. I am in the center of the chest, the throat, the head, the crown. The three segments of my arms are connecting through the energies of my 5 fingers. I will count the 4 counts and then we'll start. We do 2 sets of the fountain. We touch balance. We connect to the outer mandala. We complete the foundation and crown. 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the last. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Starting to touch balance. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, infinity. 3, expansion. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Release. 2, 3. I'm going to go inflowing way to foundation and touch balance again. Okay. 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wonderful. Let the energy be. How was that? I wonder if you can do one set for me and I can watch it a little bit because it's difficult to see it. I think that one of the things that I want you to be very clear when you practice is that the arms are not going down ever. Let me see if I can do it from here so you can see it, what I mean by the arms. The arms are going, each plane of a space, this will be the horizontal plane, right? When you're going from here, you will get the horizontal plane. And then for the horizontal plane, you make the transition that is going to go into down, into go to the self. So every point is a connection from the space into you that is matching you as you're descending. So you never go down. You're connecting through the point to point in space that comes inside of your body as you match in the plane of a space right there. Better, better. What will be the point of the horizontal plane that you're touching when you're descending from central crown? Say now when you get to the point of the horizontal plane.
Yeah.
No, when you come down, right? From there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I mean by that, look, I'm going to central crown, right? Here, 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 right there. That will be the horizontal plane. And then from then, it changes the planes as I am descending back into self. So what is the point? Exactly. So it's not clear from here to here, from here, from the first place. From the first place, if you divide it in two, you have the first half and the second half. The first half is good because you're opening. Now what's happening in the second half, that you're going to touch the horizontal plane as you're descending back into self. Descending is not the word, until you're connecting into self. So beautiful, beautiful. Because I have the feeling that you don't know that you're touching the horizontal plane, right? When you are in the mandala, you know where the horizontal plane is. It's right here, right? And then you make the changes. When you come down from it, from this place, where will be the horizontal plane when you're descending from the mandala or when you're descending from the fountain? The horizontal plane is the point that are the closest approximation to the vertical extension before I am in the inner arc or the outer arc. Yeah? So now let me see where you are, right there. Right there, wonderful. And then beautiful, right there. Perfect, perfect. Mary Pat, the only reason that this is happening right now is because you're good into the connection. When you get to the horizontal plane right here, it's almost like you want to keep the back of your neck and the back of the scapula in place in order as you're coming down to self. And you cannot let all the center to be able to go into the center forward as you're descending to exactly. Let the center forward exactly. Let it be the center forward because it wants to stay back. And that's what creates a little bit the complexity of it. Beautiful. You got it. You got it. Beautiful. Carolina, where is the horizontal plane when you come back from central crown in the fountain for you? Right there, beautiful. You're going to open the fountain. Oh yeah, you're going to, beautiful, right there, wonderful. Now you're going into, and now you're going to get to a point in which the horizontal plane, right there, and then you continue moving down. No, from the horizontal plane, you have a lot of movement to continue. The horizontal plane is not at the same level. It's not like a wall here. It goes here, right? And then from here, look, you have all this movement to get you back into the self. So the horizontal plane, in the definition of the fountain, the half of the movement from central crown, half is the horizontal plane, and the other half is the self. So you have a lot, exactly. And then it's when you're coming back to the self, right there, and then it's when you're merging the wave, yeah? You got it. It's clear a little bit, any questions about it? Elena, the center of the horizontal plane, what will be the center of the horizontal plane? And right there, okay, you're good, right? And then you come down. Can you feel it, what I mean, Elena?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, yeah?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, because the horizontal plane is the place that it's not completely horizontal, like a horizontal right here, right?
Right.
Because it is happening a little bit before almost a horizontal,
Right.
because of the placement of the whole placement. But it definitely exists in here, and that's the point that allows you to make the transition in the center that is going to take you gently to self and then in descending. So exactly. So the spine will not remain in one place and your arms are descending. You clear with that one?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. So then Okay, let's do it one last time. It's okay. It's okay if we do it.
Do you want us to do, after we do the fountain, do you want us to do the inner through the outer?
Yeah, let's go to the
Touch
inner.
and balance.
Let's go to the inner to the outer, and
Okay.
then let's touch balance the way it is. Okay. So then we just follow the whole movement.
Okay.
Yeah. Fantastic. So then let's go back very gently into the fountain. We do 2 fountains. Yeah, like as it is, 2 fountains. The definition of the 6 directions. Then let's go through the whole thing, right? Then that's what you're talking, Ellen.
Yeah.
The definition of the free releases, the definition of central heart, the suspended diamond, the definition of central crown, completing the fountain.
Okay.
Yeah, sending the fountain.
Yeah.
Then inflowing way, inner outer. And then when the completion of the inner outer become touching balance and then completing into balance.
Okay.
Just the first whole movement.
Okay.
That's when we're working. Beautiful. So just for a second. Lovely. Are you okay? Beautiful. And the second here. 1. Remember that you're centralized in the 6 directions of the space. The front and the back, the right and the left, and the above and below. 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7. Last time. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Inflowing way, gathering the way action. 3 and 4 in the outflowing way. 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 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 2. I go now to center heart. 3 and 4. From the center. 1 and 2, 3, 4 counts to the center of a space between your legs, between your hips, between all the centers. Or descending. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 1 and 2. 3, the suspended diamond with the delicate heart begins the wave, connects, click, descending, ascending, 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, central ground, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 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 5, 6, 7 and 8, inflowing way 2, 3 and 4, ascending to centers, infinity gate, infinity 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. The foundation to touching balance. 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 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 4, completing and crown, 2, 3 and 4, shaking the weight a little bit. How was that? Any questions? Can we do it one last time?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do that one more time. Let me see for a moment. Let me see. I don't know if there's any questions, but we'll do it and then we go from there. How is that, Mary Pat? It's a little bit better, the back of the spine?
Mm-hmm.
The feeling of it is good? Okay. You have to be careful a little bit, Elaine, that when you create the spiral of the heart, that the last part of the spine, the last third, goes around your heart to take you to the heart. Goes around your heart to take you to the heart. So then from the heart, you can get up again into the abdomen. Exactly, right there. Yes, beautiful, beautiful. And don't forget, because there's a part of you that forget the horizontal plane here. You got to. The horizontal plane is very important because it ensures that you're not resting in the spine to go down with your arm. It ensures that the vertebrae are being suspended by the point in which your arms are moving through the plane of space. So the spine doesn't rest down. I got it. Yeah, that's the idea. So, and it happens as they come to and, I think, because this is 2, 3, 4, it's in 3 and, I think. 1, 2, 3 and. 3 and right here, 4, 5. So if you're thinking that the free end is the horizontal plane, it will help you. So you're okay. I got to touch it before I move down into self. Yeah.
So is self on count 4?
This is 2, right? 2. Free and, which is horizontal plane. 4, 5.
5.
6, 7, and 8. Yes. So if you're thinking 2, 3, and it's just a little bit after the end, but it's not the 4. 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 2, 3, and 4, 5. Yeah. Good. How is that, Mary Pat? Is good? The and, it will help you. It's an approximation, but it will help you because you need the and to make sure that when you're moving your arms down, that you're not moving your arms down, that you allow the spines to be able to be suspended, the vertebra, through the angles in which you're moving the arms down. Just when the mandala, you don't go down in the mandala. The planes from infinity of your arms are connecting your vertebrae to descending in each of those points in each of the centers. From infinity, as you're descending from the mandala, that will become the head. Right? If you're in here, that will become the center, that will become the head, the throat, and the shoulders right here. Then when you're descending down, you can say that is the solar plexus, that is the hip, that is the center of the earth that connects me down. So when you descend from here, you are descending through the center as well. And when you descend down you are ascending from the center as well, from the horizontal plane. Am I confusing you a little bit? No, right?
It's better. I think it's better.
That when you're descending, you are in infinity, right? And you are in the solar plexus. Everything is open. That's the center of your throat, the head, right now. Then now here, that's the head, right here. Now you get into the throat, right from here. Now you get into the chest. Now, when you descend from the descending mandala, you can say as you go, that will be the solar plexus, that will be the pelvis right here, mandala crown, that will be the pelvic floor, the mandala crown right there. So when you're descending from expansion, you are descending through the centers as you're descending through the movement, but you could also say that when you're descending here, you are in the throat. When you're descending to the solar plexus, you are in the head, or that it can go up or down through the centers in that particular moment. I don't want to confuse you, but right now, make sure that you understand that when you go into the mandala, you are going through all of the centers. You're not bringing your arms down only. Exactly, right there. Fantastic. That will be the connection. Yeah? Beautiful.
That's much different.
I'm sorry, darling?
It's much different. It was very helpful when you equated it with the outer mandala, because I didn't think of it, this path, in those terms.
Yes, yes, absolutely. That the horizontal plane and the fountain right here, as you descend in to self, you are coming back into the center of the solar plexus, and then from then you're going up and down. But then in the mandala, when you are all the way to the crown, right, and infinity, then from then on, right there is the throat, the head actually, infinity, the crown, right? That is the head, the center of the head. That is the center of the throat, right here in between. That is the center of my heart there. And then when I'm descending, I can say that I'm going to go toward the solar plexus, or I can decide that I'm going to go to the throat, I'm going to go to the head, and I'm going to go to the pelvis. Or I can say I'm going to go to the chest and the solar plexus and the pelvis and the head and the pelvic floor. So you can choose if you want to go whatever you want to name it, but in the planes moving from the horizontal plane, you're either going through the lower centers descending, or you're going through the lower upper centers ascending, but they are equal. Yeah, it's equal. Yeah, so not confusing you. Yeah. Ellen, is good. The idea that the connecting through it, that ensures that you're not moving down with your arms.
Right.
That you are moving through the connections of the vertebra and through the 7 centers. Yes. Beautiful. That's it. Carolina. That changed it.
Finally, because that makes complete sense if you're relating it to coming from expansion to mandala crown. And if you sense it, it's the same. It's the same thing in a way, yeah. Only it's exactly because it's so clear that way.
Exactly, because otherwise you're thinking they're just bringing your arms down.
I have to do something.
No, it's just that each point through the fountain going down correspond to another vertebra, making the changes that is going to bring you to the vertical.
It so makes so much sense.
I'm sorry. Yeah, absolutely. The outer form, the point that you touch in space, is what moves the vertebrae. It's not that you move the vertebrae. The point that you touch in space is moving the vertebrae. You cannot move the vertebrae because I'm trying to move it. I only contract them.
Yeah.
But if I find the plane and space that correspond to the vertebra, all the vertebrae are going to move inside of themselves, and they're going to take me to the crown always. Beautiful. Okay, fantastic. We do it. Beautiful. Fantastic. For you now. Let me see, Elaine, and for all of us. Look, I am in 0 point, right? And the 0 point is the center of my heart, but it's the center of the entire half of my body, right? 0 point is the 2 halves of my being, which is the same as saying I am in the center, the front and back and right and about. Oh, you know that. But now, look, when I open the gesture, the half of my body is going to open, and the other half of my body is going to open. So it's going to be the half of me that is going to create the half of the fountain, the other half, and then I'm connecting the fountain, and the fountain will take me up, and the whole thing from above. Every plane of the spiral here is a whole circle of all of the vertebrae taking me back into the heart. It's not just only the head going forward and down, all of it. Then I'm coming back all the way up to the spine, and then every single plane that is taking me to the horizontal plane is going to move the vertebrae, and now it's going to move me to self, and now the vertebrae is going to go all the way to crown, and we just start the whole thing. Yeah, right there. Beautiful. Okay, shall we do it one last time and we let it be then? Let's go. Fantastic. It's wonderful because I think that I want to accentuate the notion that it's the planes that you're touching in space that is doing you. It's not that you are doing it. Yet that it's moving you. Beautiful. 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll do it one more time. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the last. And 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now unity in motion. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and the last one. 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3. Central heart. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2. And 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Suspend the diving. 2, 3, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2. Now the whole 7 centers. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2. 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2. I'm not in the count. 3 and 4. Wonderful. We're going to go to now the inner outer mandala. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1. Infinity. 3, and that's the changes of all. 4. The changes of all. 2, 3, mandala ground. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. I'm going to touch balance now. 1 and 2, 3, and now we go. 1 in the semi-spin. 2 with the diamond on my arms, helping to connect to the heart. And 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 is foundation. 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Complete 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Very gently, release everything. Go, fantastic, wonderful. Okay, okay, wonderful. Let's spend a second to figure out what we did today. The count end. Let's just go for a moment. Let's go. You did good. We did good. Let me see. Where are we? We are discovering that the angle that I touch in a space is what connects me to the centers and the moving vertebrae. Not just only to the center, but the moving vertebrae. Yeah. The angle is what activates my vertebrae. I can't activate them by me because I am my vertebrae. So if I try to move them or adjust it, I'm only going to shrink. So the angle in a space and the point in a space, it will move me because it will change me constantly from the outer arc to expansion, which is the vertical extension, to the inner arc. And it will always go from the inner arc to the vertical, to the horizontal plane, or to the outer arc. Yeah. When you go to the mandala, you never get to the horizontal plane when you're ascending, because the horizontal plane actually becomes the point in relation to your arms, becomes the point in which you are changing to go to infinity's gate from the delicate heart. The point that you touch the delicate heart right here is the horizontal, not the horizontal plane in relation to the vertical extension, but the horizontal plane in relation to the ascending mandala. Yeah, do you understand? Because if I'm trying to get to the horizontal plane, by that time I'm already out. The only place that I'm touching as I'm ascending in the horizontal plane for sure is the suspended diamond. The only place that I'm really, and then expansion, of course, but as I am ascending from the center, is the only point, yeah? And we never go from the suspended diamond, never go to central crown, because if I try to go to central crown from the suspended diamond, I will cross the scapula right away. So it is the only point that is truly defined, and it allows me to open the throat, and that's where I'm descending from it. Yeah, that's the only point, yeah? And then when you enter in crown, the point of the horizontal plane never really gets to be touched, because if I touch it, I could never descend from there. So it becomes the delicate instant. So almost below the delicate instant, you're touching that, but it never gets defined. It gets defined through the descending, ascending wave as you ending. So it happens at different places, but it's good for you to notice when that happens, because it is the modulation of your shoulder girdle. Your shoulder girdle is the bridge of your heart. Once you understand the shoulder girdle, you're free forever, because then the shoulder girdle will always be liberating the spine. It will never go in or out of the spine. It will always be part of the movements of the spine. Yeah, fantastic, clear, wonderful. So this is a big deal, that the points and planes and space determine the movements of the spine and the definition of the seven centers. I think it will become clear for you that when you touch expansion, you're going down with your arms, but you're defining the centers, right? The center of the solar plexus and so forth. So that ensures that your spine is moving, that your spine is not stationary when you're moving your arms down. Yeah, beautiful. So exactly. So the angle right here, this angle that I'll show you. If I want to suspend the place in between my solar plexus and my ribs, I will go to this place right here. This will be this in between, crown. That will be crown, right? That will be a place in between self, and self will be right here in expansion. Right here, you said, okay, that's at the center of my rib cage. Yeah, if I wanted to get to the center of my heart, of course, it's expansion. Yeah, when you go here, if I want to go to my pelvis, my pelvis, it will be right here, right? If I want to go to the solar plexus, it will be right there. If I want to go to the delicate heart, it will be 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters up. And that will be the point in which my shoulder girdle is fully free to be able to unfold me all the way up to infinity. Yes. So each point in a space corresponds to a specific center of yourself. And once you begin to understand that, you can put yourself in the counter in the kitchen and put the hands at the counter in the kitchen and say, right now, that's my solar plexus. If I'm going to, right now, it's my shoulder. And that's the way you contact it. Yeah. And wonderful. And when you contact it, the reason that is so important, because the centers in relation to the shoulders and all the center is the only place you can go up. Only you can extend yourself through the centers. You cannot extend yourself through the skeleton, because if you're trying to extend yourself from the skeleton, you're only going to go back. But if you extend yourself through the center, everything can go more and more and more and more forever, because you are extending from all of the vertebrae instead of grabbing the vertebrae to push them up. When you grab the vertebrae to push them up, you're going to shorten and you're going to think that you're elongating, but you're not. So only a space and the plane is what lifts the vertebrae up into you. Yeah. And you need the lifting of not the lifting. You don't need the lifting. No, you don't need. It is advisable to know and experience that your vertebrae can move like a bellows, because then you are not going to get into pain, because pain only occurs when things converge upon each other and create angles. That's the only way pain comes into being. When an angle becomes constricted and the system and the nervous system starts screaming, and once you relay the angle, you have no more pain because everything dissolves into the fabric. We didn't good. Beautiful, beautiful, right there. Wonderful, wonderful. Now, what I want you to study for you, this will be your study home, okay? There is one point, crown, for example, crown. Crown is not here. It's not here. You see, it's here. Right? Right here is the back of my neck and the center of my heart, but right here is the crown. And the reason when you get to understand where is the crown, because the crown is the only possibility that you're going to get to the head. It's not here, you see? It is right here. So you're opening and you're descending, and right here is the top of the head. Click. But it's not here. Yeah. So I need you to begin to sense where is the point in the space. The crown is actually the elevation of your head. Exactly. Right there, right there, right there, right there. Wonderful. Perfect. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Yes. Because innocently, I had the feeling that you're thinking, okay, here I am in crown.
Yeah, that never felt.
You
Yeah,
see,
that
crown
never
is
felt
a
right to me. Yeah, thank you.
This is crown. This is in between. It's okay. It's good. But in between, I'm really here in the center of the neck. If you want to put it in the center of the neck. But crown is the place that the down and the up are simultaneously, and then in the 0 point, the down and the up are simultaneously. Okay, so the plane, the way you place yourself in a space is going to determine the experience of your being. So just know that for sure. Wonderful, just perfect. This is what we're learning today. That's it. It's wonderful. What else do you learn? Oh, you're learning the and that correspond to the horizontal plane and the descending of the fountain. Beautiful, which is very important. It's complex to acknowledge it because it almost wanted to stop the motion. So it almost non-existent, but you know that's the point that you are alert, because that's the point that determines the changing of the upper torso. So you moving the vertebra from all the vertebrae instead of moving the vertebrae from the back forward. You don't move the vertebrae from the back forward. You're moving the vertebra from all of the vertebrae, changing in the plane. That's what you're learning. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. When you get to expansion, put your arms on top of the piano or someplace in expansion, and find out where is my face inside of expansion. You're going to notice that it's not here, it's not here. Where is the center of your head? Once you get the expansion in the center of your face, from the center of the head, you can really get out of the face. Get out of your face from the center of a space. You know, so then everything in the face can open and the back can open it, because you're opening from the center of a space out, and you are not from the surface of your face. That's very good. It's helped you enormously. Yeah, fantastic. And that's it. Let me see. Today, okay, we didn't do a lot of work and movement, but it was good. It was a very good thing that whatever we did, it was wonderful. And then listen to those parts that I'm telling you in the beginning about. I know there is a lot, but I want to be able to develop your mind to the point that your mind has a full comprehension of the balance of your being. Because that will be the knowledge that you will always have. You will be 80 years old, as all as time, and you will know you will always be in the balance of your being, because once you know it, you'll never lose it. Impossible. You will never shrink, because it's not part of your mind anymore. You will always be part of it. You will always be free. So it's a wonderful gift to receive.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love you. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so I'll let you be. I'll see you very soon. Don't remember that you can send me notes. Thank you, Carolina. That was the observation of finding the planes and the other mandala and finding the planes and the fountain are absolutely divine. And I can't wait till we get to the floor, because now we can find all the planes in the floor that corresponds to all those planes in the spine, all the spirals that we can go into through the planes. Yes, so very soon we will have the floor as well. I love you. Have fun. Enjoy everything. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Elena. Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you. Ciao,
That
ciao.
was wonderful.
Bye.
Thank
And I
you.
love you. I love you. All of it. It's
Oh,
fantastic.